We're going to be talking about string functions inside of Python. Now, before we actually see some code, I want to bring a couple of points up about strings inside of Python. First off, strings are immutable. So what do we mean by that? What we mean is that you cannot change the characters inside of a string once they have been assigned. So that string can't be changed individual characters. The other thing is that strings, however, can be completely reassigned, and I'll show you how that works here in a minute. But you can completely assign a new string to a particular variable. The other thing is that strings come with a good bit of their own built-in functions, and we're going to show you a few of those today. Okay, let's look at a little bit of code here. Let's get us a string that we can play around with. Something real easy to remember here. Now, as I said, you cannot change an individual character inside of a string because it is immutable, and there is no way it will let you do this. Okay? You'll notice that it says you get an error because you cannot assign to a particular character inside of a string. However, you can replace the entire string with another string. This will run without any error whatsoever. And just to prove to you that it did change that string, you'll see there at the bottom where it's actually changed that string. Okay, now strings have also the string object also has a lot of really cool functions that go along with it. For example, you can change it all to uppercase. Okay, you see there where it's changed it all to uppercase. Now, if it is already got some capitalization in it, you can also change it to lowercase. And it's pretty much, well, just the opposite of what we've just done. Okay? And notice that it's all lowercase now. Okay? Now you can also, if you like, you can do some fairly fancy formatting. For example, you can make a little center, if I spell it right, you can make a little center, and that, if you'll notice, encased it in those pipe symbols. Okay, now if you also too, you can find things inside a string, And this way we can find the O that is in that string. Notice that it says that it is located at the 8th character. The reason being is that we started at 4, so we skipped the first O and we found the second O, which is 8 characters into it. Okay? Now we can also test for various things. For example, we can check to see if a particular string or substring exists at the end of the string. And we run that. And we see that it comes back and says, true, because my name does end in ON. Now, if I ask if it ends in EN, of course, it comes back and says that is false. Now, we can also test to see if my name is digits, or is it decimal? Of course, we know it's not. That comes back and says it's false. Now, if we change my string to digits, only digits, it comes back and says it is true. And then if we also check that, if it's alpha, it comes back and says that's false because that is numbers. Now, if we comment this where we have assigned it to numbers and we take out the space and we run it, it says it's true. But if we put the space back in it and run it, it comes back and says it is false. So as I said, there are a lot of different functions that are tied to the strings, and you can get a lot of work done using those functions. Thank you for watching the video.